It's Tuesday, May 21st, Wednesday, May 22nd, if you're on the East Coast, across the pond, or down under. And this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. Hope you had a great day and night. I am your host, Dave Scott, broadcasting to you live from the Great White North, on top of the mountains of central British Columbia, right here at SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Deep Talk Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. They are being built. Our website is being rebuilt, under construction, so just stay tuned. The Gavinator's got it almost done. Tonight's show is brought to you by the YouTube channel in Suho. Sebastian Martin brings high-quality messages to the masses. Head to our website, click on the Insuho banner, and subscribe today. What's it like to be able to project yourself out of your body? Float or fly anywhere you want to go in full control. See things the ordinary eyes can't see. Robert Bruce has performed his life work after studying and promoting astral projection for many years. By the year 2000, he had become one of the leading authorities in the field. He is also a specialist in many other paranormal fields of study. Robert recently wrote several books. The most important and well-known is Astral Travel and Astral Dynamics back in 1999. So for those of us who haven't heard or traveled of astral travel yet, excuse me, getting over a cold, how does one actually do it? Well, that's why Robert is here. The helpful, practical guidelines in his books are one way of learning. Robert Bruce is also a propagator of typical superstitions and stereotypes concerning the phase phenomena as well. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR News Wire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Mr. Robert Bruce, I apologize. I'm trying to get over this silly cold, and I was doing fine up until, of course, the lights go on and we got to start broadcasting. But how are you?
I'm totally spaced out today, mate.
Oh, for sure, as I try and gain my voice back here. Got to get it back under control, but we're almost there. Mr. Bruce, you're someone who is known as one of the leaders in astral travel, astral dynamics, learning about it. How did you get involved in this field?
Well, it started when I was a child, about 4 years of age. One night I just floated out of my body and floated through the house. And this happened many, many times. It happened, multiple times per night. But interesting you should ask that. Just before then, I'd had many experiences, and keep in mind here that my memories go back to before I entered my mother's womb. And it's not because I'm special or anything. It's there are techniques you can use to recover all of your memories every moment of your life. And before I had my first, what you call, astral projection, where I buzzed all over and, floated up out of my body, I had a number of experiences where I would be paralyzed in bed. And I'm just a little lad. I'm like 4, if you're lucky. And paralyzed, and I've got this teeth grinding sort of vibration going through me, the type that sets your teeth on edge, like biting into cardboard or aluminum foil. And there would always be a light coming down from above my head, from behind me, and I'm lying flat on my back. And just the last time this happened, before I had the first astral projection, I managed to slowly turn around and look up to see what the light was. Now, I didn't know it then, but I was actually moving in my astral body, and I was moving inside of my own skin. So my physical body is not moving. And I looked behind me, and gobsmacked, there was a large ET sitting beside my bed behind me out of sight, of the large insectoid variety that looked like a giant praying mantis, with the big triangular head and the big eyes. And there was a ball about the size of a basketball in front of it, sort of hovering in the air, that was glowing a creamy white sort of colour and flickering, and that was a light source. And I looked at it, and, I'm just a little lad, so I'm like terrified what's happening, because it was so major. And the ET looked at me and noticed that I was looking at him, reached out and tweaked the ball, and passed out. Now, that was my last memory before I started having frequent astral projections. Now, at that age, of course, I had never read anything or heard anything about this. And I started coming out multiple times a night. And in real time, which is what I call the real time zone, so I'm like a ghost in the real world. And I taught myself how to move around, how to fly. That was fun. And wasn't easy. It took me many, many OBEs to master that. And and I went from there. It's just a natural part of my life. So as I got older, got into my 20s, I started to study it more seriously by exploring it. And eventually, I accidentally wrote a book. It wasn't intentional. And I accidentally found a publisher by sending a reply to an email. If you remember the old, how the internet used to be in the mid-90s, when it was C:// blinking.
Yes.
Pure text, yeah. One of the news groups I'd replied to, I got a lot of, I used to post short articles in them, and I used to get an enormous amount of interest and emails back. I was getting like 100 or so emails a day. And one of the, eventually, I got sick of answering the same questions over and over again, so I wrote up like a FAQ, frequently asked questions, and I had an article I'd written for each question, so I would just cut and paste it to save me a lot of time, because I was spending like every waking hour answering these emails. And over the years, as this continued, I collated those into something almost like a book. And then eventually I put it together in a book. Somebody suggested it. It was a rough book, I was teaching myself how to write. And I accidentally answered a news group to a man I didn't know, and his name was Frank DiMarco, who was the editor-in-chief of Hampton Roads Publishing in Virginia, USA. And it was coincidental. We really hit it off. And eventually I said, I've just written a book on astral projection. Would you like to have a look at it? And he said, I would love to, Robert. And I sent the book over to him, very informally. And next minute I had a contract on my desk, and that started me off in writing, which of course inspired me to study and explore the greater reality more. So, and that pushed me into the direction of becoming like a full-time, you could say, researcher on astral matters. Anyway, that's how it started.
Robert, when you looked at how young you were when this started, you really didn't have a normal childhood then. This is something that you were just thrust into, no pun intended, and you just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I told my mother many times, and if you know mothers, and I was just a little lad, 4 going on 5, and it would just be, oh, that's nice, dear, patting me on the head. Here, have another cookie. It's nobody took me seriously at that age. I mean, if you had a 4-year-old child yourself that came in and said they were flying around in the backyard with the fairies, you'd do the same. Everybody would. You'd say, "Oh, that's nice, dear." You don't want to naysay them, and you probably give them a cookie or some juice or something. It's so in that sense, I had 2 lives, and my first life, of course, was a normal childhood. I grew up in England until the age of 10, which was lovely, beautiful countryside. We lived in a little country town. So I spent my first 10 years of my life rambling through these beautiful forests and that. And then we came to Australia and, things changed a bit. It was a lot hotter and drier. But this continued, these paranormal events, which were nudging me towards looking into it more seriously, continued over the years, and they still do. I still get these nudges in certain directions that pique my interest. So I have to say I've been guided on this path in my life, and I've been doing this for 60 years now. It's a long time. Yeah. Well, I'm 63 now. And it started
60 years. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, that's a lifetime in one area of research before you've even figured out what it's like.
Very, very little interests me. It's not just astral projection, it's all the things that go with it. Astral projection, spirit entities and how all that works, the afterlife, energy work, kundalini, all of those things, including demonology and things like that come into it as well. It's it is so fascinating and enthralling that you don't really want to do anything else.
What's it like then? I've never done it. I know a lot of people who have. And you know what? Of everything I've experienced, Robert, I don't know if this is something that I actually want to do. There's something about it that actually scares me. So for people who have never done it before, take us through the process of what happens.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Dave, but you do astral project. Everybody astral projects every time you sleep. Now, and it's not just humans. Animals astral project. Dogs and cats and horses, every living thing astral projects whenever they sleep. This is a natural process, universal to all living things. If it wasn't, there would be, this would be really weird. But it's a very, very natural thing. It's like the afterlife process. That is something experienced by every living thing as well. It's a shared afterlife that makes sense. Now, the human brain, if not all living things' brain, tends to tune these things out in the same way it tunes out psychic abilities and clairvoyance and seeing spirits and auras and things like that. The brain and your higher self, which is a much higher part of you, tunes these things out by default. I mean, everybody has the inherent abilities within them to be clairvoyant, to astral project, to do this and do that. But these things are tuned out in order to keep us focused here in the real world where our attention needs to be. To live, we have to live here and work here. And so these things are tuned out. But for some reason, a small percentage of the population have these things like astral projection and a bit of clairvoyance, and that we have these things naturally. We're often born with them, and we, grow up with them. But my exploration into this is that everybody does this, and therefore the methods I use to teach this, if you read my book, Astral Dynamics, or go to my website, astraldynamics.com, I've got huge video tutorials there and lots of articles on how to astral project. The main focus on my work is to work on the memory to allow you to recall astral projections that you are having, because most people who try to have an astral projection, I'll tell you what it's like, Dave. Typically, a person is trying to astral project, and so they're following my methods here, which means you're laying in bed, propped up on a lot of pillows, so you're like in the position you'd be if you were about to eat breakfast in bed, and totally relaxed. And, you clear your mind by focusing on your belly, feeling your belly, breathing as it rises and falls as you breathe to, clear your mind a little bit, focus it on that. And use a technique when you're deeply relaxed, like feeling yourself, using your tactile senses, feeling yourself climbing a rope above you, and various other techniques and that. And all these techniques involve you in somehow sense feeling yourself moving out of your physical body, away from that location. Now, typically, a person, when they start get the basics mastered, to how to relax properly, because it's all about deep physical relaxation. Deep physical mental relaxation is the key to this, which is really quite easy. It's just a matter of practice. Now, when they get close to it, they will start to feel a vibration going through the entire body, a buzzing, like a vibrating sort of a feeling going through you. They call it the vibrations. Your whole body will buzz, and you will feel this like continual falling sensation, and you will usually feel a very, very rapid heartbeat, like several times what it normally is, like it's really pounding in your chest, and you'll feel yourself start to move upwards, like moving out of body, and then it stops for no reason. So you feel some of these symptoms, any combination of these. You've read about this, this is how it's supposed to be, and it all starts, it's all going perfectly, and it stops. And you think, oh, damn, I failed again. And you feel really, really tired because you're in bed, and it's usually late at night, at bedtime. So you just roll over and go to sleep. Well, you think you roll over. But what usually happens in that case is you're rolling over in you could say your etheric body, and you go to sleep because you're exhausted, because your astral body has left your physical body. Your astral projection was successful, but there is a phenomenon that occurs during all types of out-of-body experience that I call the mind split effect. Now, when your astral body separates from your physical body, your mind actually, I call it the mind split, but it's actually you could say an energy copy of your being, which is your mind, your memories, your body, everything. That is what is projected out of your body. The real you could say the master copy of you, never ever leaves your physical body while you live. It's only a copy. This is like you could say like the RAM in a computer. And this is what's projected out. So from the instant you start to shift out of body, when you can feel some movement there, your mind splits and there are now two of you functioning simultaneously. Now, the aspect of you which is laying in the bed trying to have an astral projection, the instant your astral body misaligns, it's disconnected from that. It's separate because you're both functioning independently. So according to the physical you in the bed, you felt the sensations leading up to an astral separation, and then it stops when the separation occurs. Now, after this experience, you fail to get download. Let's say the astral projection lasts for 10 minutes or long or so, and then it comes back in again while you're asleep, and you do not get the memory download of the astral projection. It slips down into deep subconscious levels of your mind. It's unrecallable. And that is the reason why astral projection is tricky. Now, I focus on astral projection techniques that try to, of course, we inform you what is happening here. And so you and your astral double, which is also you, know this, and the astral double knows the rule number one for early astral projection is 10 seconds out of body, have a quick look around, and then dive back into the physical body, passionately screaming your success. And a key word, something about the experience. Like, for example, when you're out of body, an interesting, reliable phenomena. If you're out of body and you look at your hands, you will see them, but they will instantly start to melt like white ice under a powerful blowtorch. And in a few seconds, you've got stumps for wrists. And watch your hands melt and then dive back into your body screaming, hands melted, or something like that. And your physical body knows that this is the plan. So your physical body is trying to stay conscious as long as it can. So you're working as a team here. And so to be open to the return of itself, another part of itself there. And
Robert, I'm going to cut you off right there because we do got to go to break here at the bottom of the hour, and I want to continue with this and give you lots of time to break down how we astral travel. So please just stay tuned. Robert Bruce is our guest tonight, all the way from Australia. Astral travel, Astral Dynamics. I'm trying to get my voice back here for all of you. Hopefully it works. astraldynamics.com is Robert Bruce's website. Check it on out. Take his video courses. It's all right there. How to astral project. We'll learn next on Spaced Out Radio. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, And what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot THAL, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Reminder, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. That's where we store our archives for free. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. And of course, our website is currently under construction at spacedoutradio.com. The Gavinator's hoping to have it done by the end of the week. Tonight we are talking Astral Dynamics, astral travel, with Robert Bruce, all the way down in Perth, Australia. Good to have you with us, Robert. Thank you so much for breaking it down. Your website, astraldynamics.com, if anybody wants to check it on out. Now, Robert, just out of curiosity, when you started learning the techniques of astral travel, how did you learn to break it down step by step to be able to teach individuals?
Well, originally I didn't need any technique. Well, very, very minor. When I was a child, when I had a lot of astral projection, it happened spontaneously, but because it was such a fun thing to do, I would often go to bed and I would just look up at the ceiling and, remembering about the fun I was having the night before, and just looking up at the ceiling would cause the vibrations to come on. Then I'd comfortably buzz out of body and be able to go on my way. Now, this happened, say, all through my childhood. And then in your teens, you get busy and it slips away, and it would happen spontaneously, occasionally, once every week or two. And then I got interest in spiritual matters, and that in my early 20s. And at that time, my mother was attending a spiritualist church, and she needed a lift. So in the beginning, I would take her along, drop her off there, and go sit in a nearby bar and have a couple of beers, and then pick her up after it was done. But eventually I got to meet some of the people there, and I started attending the things. And then I got interested, and my mother had a pretty big, she was a big reader, and she had hundreds of books on spiritual matters, and I was a bookworm, so I devoured them, which piqued my interest. But I found very, very little of practical help in there. The nearest I came to practical help, there was a series of books by a man called Lobsang Rampa back in the 60s or so. These were written there. And one of his books was a practical guide to, I think it was called something like You Forever. It was a practical guide. And it had instructions for astral projection and how to, and clairvoyance and things like that. So I didn't have anything else, so I used those, and they worked. And his method was to literally deeply relax in bed and then imagine you're floating like 3 feet above your body and feeling yourself there. And I worked on this. It's quite tricky. Doing it as an adult was vastly different to how it was when I was a child, when I just slip out really easily. And but I kept at it. I'm a very stubborn, you could say, individual. The positive aspect of which is drive. So when I set my mind to something, I'm very, very determined. And I kept at it until I made it work. And I found it's in my nature to look at things, to observe things. It's just kind of wired in. So as I was having astral projections leaving my body, I'd be observing the sensations of what's happening, which chakras were involved, blow by blow as I'm coming out. And in the reverse, when I was re-entering my body, what it felt like and what was happening. And I've applied this to everything. And then many years later, when I started to write and teach people about these things, that came in handy. I mean, I went back and I re-examined the whole astral projection thing and intensely studied the exit and re-entry into the body hundreds of times, trying to milk every little detail to improve my understanding more and more and more. And that, during that process, was when I discovered the mind split effect. And I only discovered it because here I am in the daytime, in the evening, sitting in a chair, astral projecting, and my astral double is outside. And cut a long story short, my astral double was interested because it was running some observations on the physical body that was left behind. And my physical body was running some observations using astral sight, because when you have an astral projection, the physical body can see through closed eyelids and see the room around you. It's like it gives you full-on clairvoyance when you leave. And so my astral body came back in at the same time that I was looking, and we connected. I saw my astral double. And long story short, that was what first clued me in to what was happening. And I explored that, exhaustively over the years. And that is the only explanation I could find, was that the mind splits, that an energy copy is projected out of body. And this is where the big problem is with learning to astral project. If you don't understand this, you're going to be clueless if you have any problems astral projecting. And of course, it doesn't help to study the works of other astral projectors and authors if they don't understand this, because you can try and emulate and copy whatever other people have done or other instructions, but if this is not accounted for, it's not going to solve your problem, because you don't understand this, which is fundamental to the astral projection process. And so there you have it, and that opens up a lot of doors for astral projectors. And I've successfully been teaching this for many, many years. I mean, sometimes.
Robert, what is the difference between astral projection and an out-of-body experience?
Well, the dreaming, lucid dreaming is another topic, and astral projection are all really classed as out-of-body experiences. And when lucid dream is very much like an astral projection in a sense, even though there are differences. And they can all be classed as out-of-body experiences, but technically, I suppose, the being out of body is to feel is separating from your physical body, which that's why it's called an out of body experience, because you feel yourself really moving out of your physical body. I mean, the only other time you're going to feel that is when you die, because that is exactly what happens when you die, because your astral body is your spirit body, it is your soul, it is you. It is the essential, eternal you.
So when you are astral traveling, do you have that long umbilical-like cord that people claim to have during an OBE?
You do, although you rarely see it. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this, the silver cord, they call it. There's a lot of controversy about that. And I think the silver cord comes from, there's a biblical saying about the silver cord and the golden bowl, I think. Something biblical. But it's apt because it looks like a silver cord. It's like a couple of inches thick, and the cord looks like it's made up of television static. You know, when you turn the television off station, you get all this static. That's what it looks like, this silvery moving static. Now, as I say, it's rarely seen. I came across this when I was a child before I'd ever read anything about this or anything else, really. I was still on Bambi and things like that when I first come across this. And but a lot of people say it doesn't exist because when they go out of body, they look for it and they don't see it. I mean, it's just a weird thing. I think a lot of people intending to astral project actually have a lucid dream, which is copying what an astral projection is like. So they feel everything. They feel all the symptoms they've been told to expect, and then they have an astral projection, but it's actually a dream copy of an astral projection. There's lots of possibilities. I don't know why everybody doesn't see it. But I know it is there, and it will sometimes become visible. There's a lot of things we don't know, Dave, about spirituality, metaphysics, and the greater reality that we live in. And the human race, we probably know 1% of, what is really going on, how things really work. I probably know 5%. And sharing that is difficult sometimes because people tend to cling to their existing beliefs and things and religions and that, and if it doesn't fit their experience and understanding, it's difficult to accept anything new, like the mind split effect, which was quite a new thing I discovered, but it works. I'm very successful at teaching astral projection. So when you're teaching it, how do you know that you are actually doing it? So if you were to teach me, because I don't think I've ever done it, I want to know how to do it. I think it would be a great experience, quite the trip, but I wouldn't know if I was doing it or not. I wouldn't know if I was just in a lucid dream. I wouldn't know if it was just my imagination making this up at night. Do I do it while I'm awake? Do I wait until I'm asleep to do this? How does it work? There is a way to tell the difference here. If you have a break in consciousness, if you fall asleep and then wake up starting to astral project, and that can be a real astral projection happening, but it can also be a lucid dream copy. Now, if you have not fallen asleep, then it's definitely an astral projection. It can't be a lucid dream copy of an astral projection there. So that's the dividing line. Once you fall asleep, you might have a nap for half an hour and then wake up and find it happening. Now, that means that's like a 50-50. You can be having astral projection, but because your intention and your desire is to have an astral projection, your mind can build one out of nothing, give you the illusion of having one. But even then, it is still an invaluable experience because your beliefs are very, very important. And once you have personally experienced something, it becomes real to you on a very deep level. And that allows you to, in a way, you could say that helps to remove certain filters from your mind, which allow you to astral project again. And again, once you've done it once and you're okay with that, then you could say your higher self, a much higher aspect of you, then allows you to astral project. The higher self is very protective, and say most people are generally completely shut down. Most people don't have any psychic senses or clairvoyance and they don't think they have astral projections, but because we don't remember them, and that stops us from, knowing that we are having them. Because I think it will be quite disturbing to most people to be, would challenge their view of reality for sure, to be having astral projections and, where you can do all kinds of things existing outside the physical body. And it kind of gives you first-hand proof of life after death, that you can exist completely separately from your physical body. You're not dependent on it for existence. So that really changes your how you feel about death, because on a first-hand level that, death is not the end, that you will continue in some shape or form.
Does it hurt? Is it painful?
Not really. Usually, no. Definitely not. It can be disturbing. Early astral projection can, as you are breaking through these barriers to get out, and these barriers, you could say they're built in, you could say they're tests, they're like initiation blocks that you have to get through. For example, the racing heartbeat common to astral projection exit can be extremely intense, to the point where you think you are having a heart attack and you are dying. The vibrations can be that intense. You will believe that you are strapped to an industrial concrete vibrator. And combined with the continual falling sensation, and you may also hear very loud noises as well. Imagine a train racing past your head about 2 feet away at high speed. Put all these together and it can be a scary experience. It's not painful. I've never experienced any pain during an astral projection. I suppose no, never. I've never had any reports of pain from anybody. I've dealt with thousands of people, teaching them, consulting with them and that. And no, it doesn't hurt at all. It's, but I say there can be some intense sensations. And these intense sensations are usually only present for the first 2 astral projection. They rapidly ease off. Now, if you're astral projecting and you get intense exit sensations, the best way to stop that is to continue the projection, keep your mind clear, and because the instant you separate from your physical body and you're out, it all stops. All the sensations stop, and it's very peaceful.
Mm-hmm. Where can you go? We got about 4 minutes left until we go to break, but when you are on an astral projection, can you go anywhere? Can you go outside this universe? Can you?
Literally,
I've never been to Australia. Could I come meet you for coffee on the astral plane?
Absolutely. You can, yeah. You can literally go to the end of the universe. I have tried many times to get to the end of the universe, and I have partially succeeded a couple of times. And yeah, you can, if you're in the real time zone, you are like a ghost in the real world. There's 2 types of astral projection. One is in the real-time astral projection, where you're like a ghost in the real world. And then you have the astral projection, which is in the astral planes, where you're existing in a reality that is totally different to this one. But that's another topic, the astral planes. It's not a SIP question.
Maybe that's something we should put more time into in the next little bit. But in regards to being able to go wherever you want and see what you want, does that include going over to the other side, seeing loved ones who maybe have passed on?
You can, definitely. Say in the real-time zone, you can, like a ghost in the real world. This is very related to remote viewing. If you're familiar with remote viewing,
yes.
which is that's a scientific approach to. There are crossovers between remote viewing, that is a scientific name for clairvoyance, by the way, but it's a discipline protocol applied to clairvoyance to extract more information out of it. But there are crossovers between that and astral projection. So there are similarities there. I mean, we're working with the same engine here, the human being, the human mind. So, yeah, there's definite connections. So you can literally go anywhere you want with no limitations. The only limitations there are on you are those you impose upon yourself through your beliefs, what you believe in. Yeah. So if you believe that,
What does that mean, actually? What does that mean that your only limits are yourselves? We got about 90 seconds.
Well, your beliefs are very, very important in all spiritual, metaphysical activities. If you believe, your beliefs define you, and when you're dealing with subtle perceptions and subtle realities, your beliefs, what you hold deep in your core beliefs here, have a profound effect upon the experiences you're going to have. And in many cases will actually stop you from having those experiences because they're contrary to your beliefs. You could say your beliefs act like filters on your mind. And like doors which are closed is another way of looking at another analogy. And so another aspect of my work is working on your beliefs to get you to an even keel so you're ready to accept astral projecting and all that goes with it.
Very interesting. I never thought that would be possible. I never did.
Well, you should have tried it.
Well, I'd like to. I'd like to learn how to do it. I have friends who do it, say it's an amazing experience. It's something that we could all do, and maybe it's something that I will be trying in the near future. But Mr. Bruce, I'm going to get you to hold on right now because we're going to go to break at the top of the hour. Robert Bruce is our guest tonight. His website, astraldynamics.com. We're learning how to astral travel tonight. Come for the ride. I hear the water is great. We'll be back with Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR, where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com, where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com, and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com. Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is spaced out radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave
Here we
Scott.
go.
Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow night on the show, Bryce Zabel joins us. We talk about Hollywood and UFO movies. 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, and in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF AM 1560. On the digital side, we welcome in everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Deep Talk Radio. Remember to check out all of our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Camisado. Camisado is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website, currently under construction, is spacedoutradio.com. Why? Because the Gavin Hater's working on it. So hopefully we'll have it back up running this week. Tonight we are talking with Robert Bruce. His website, astraldynamics.com, if you want to check it out and learn how to astral travel. I suggest you do. This is a course that I actually want to take. I want to try this. I want to see if I'm brave enough to do it. Robert, welcome back to the show.
Hey, good to be back.
Does it take a sense of bravery in order to try this because we are stepping into such an unnatural realm?
Yes, it does. And these are one of the subtle things that block people and why some people find it difficult. Fear is the biggest killer of astral projection. And keep in mind, let's say go back to when you were 3 years of age and you don't remember that time, but let's say around the age of 3 you had, like me, some astral projection experiences where something scary happened. So in your mind, it's like you start, as a 3-year-old, you felt the rapid heartbeat, the vibrations, the falling sensation, and you started to come out of the body and there's a boogeyman going, boo, scared the life out of you. And that terrified you and, you turned the light on and stuff like that. And now you've forgotten all about that. But, 30, 40 years later, you get an interest in astral projection. You go and you start going through the exercises and trying to learn how to do it. You don't know, but you have like a post-traumatic stress disorder trigger relating to the astral projection exit. So when you get close to that and you start to feel the rapid heartbeat, the falling sensation, the vibrations, without knowing why, you get this tension go through your body and you're like, kill it, cold. It's like a part of you is like, oh, no, not that. And it stops you. The child mind is like still alive in that moment, whatever scared it as a child. And it's stopping you now. So there are various techniques I use for, overcoming those blockages, and of course working on memory recall, to recall the memory immediately after an astral projection. For example, typically I tell people to have a large pad on the bed beside them or on the chair beside them. A chair is recommended, particularly like a recliner, because it's a lot easier to astral project if you're at about a 40-degree angle in bed than it is when you're laying prone. It's more difficult if you were in bed. And you need a large pad, because if you have a small pad, it's difficult to write when you're really groggy. And the drill is, after the astral projection, when you've done a 10-second astral projection, say, and you watch your hands melt, you dive back in with your keywords, passionately, savagely shouting your success to get some energy into the memory of your astral experience, to make sure that's stronger, so that will overwrite, because your physical body may have 10 seconds of memory of just laying there existing in a dark room, and that's it. But that won't allow the astral memories in unless you've got a little bit more power on the astral memories. So this is why we follow this process. Now, the instant that happens, when the re-entry occurs, the physical body mind will feel a surge of energy coming up the legs rapidly over a second through the body and filling you. And then the memories of the astral projection will be present in your mind. It's right there. It's like, you were there. It's like the physical body memories for the 10 seconds, the duration of the astral projection exit, your 10 seconds out of body is overwritten. Now, you can't trust this because it is so delicate. Because, I mean, how many times have you woken up in the morning having a beautiful, vivid dream, book-length movie of a dream, and you wake up and say, wow, that was fantastic, I'll never forget that. Forget what? And it's gone. It's just like a little cloud that's moved away from your head, and you try and pull it back somehow, and then it comes back. And you say, oh, wow, it's back. I won't forget that. And then it goes again, and forever. You never get it back. But the interesting thing, after that experience, you remember that you had a beautiful memory, and that it went away, and that it came back, and then it vanished for good. You remember that, but you don't remember the contents of the dream. And this is quite common for dreaming. And this is why when you re-enter and your physical body wakes up with the memory of the astral projection, first thing you do is you verbalize, you speak the key words, whatever they are. Say, hands melted, over and over again. You can't trust the memory. It's so easily lost. As you reach for the pad, then you grab that pen and you write down the key words first, lock it in, and then you can sketch down a few more details about the experience, and then you've got it. Now, about once every couple of months, Dave, I wake up in the morning with no memory of anything happening during the night, and I go to the coffee machine, half asleep in the morning, trudge, and sitting on top of the coffee machine, which is the first thing I go to in the morning, is a note. And I pick up this note, and it's in really, really bad writing, and what the hell is this? And then I make out a couple of words on that note, and boom, the entire memory of the experience I had the night before comes back, because it's like the file name or directory and file name of where the memory is, and the few words about the experience become the directory name and the file name you want. Text file, say, obe.txt. That triggers it in your brain and the memory floods back. And then you have it, permanently recorded, even though you forgot. Yeah. So memory it's a tricky thing with this. So I tend to, apart from teaching fairly typical astral projection exit methods, my work on the memory recall is what really makes astral projection work and makes it much, much more successful.
Questions from some audience members here. Let's start off with Human Carl, who is asking, how does one control which mind is the active mind after your astral body and mind separate from your base camp body?
You can't. You can't really do that because there are two of you functioning simultaneously. One is in the physical body in your bedroom or office, and the other one is your astral body mind, which is existing at a different location. And they're both existing simultaneously. What you're talking about, I think, making one dominant is covered by the memory recall techniques that I use. Now, keep in mind another factor to the deliberate re-entry after an astral projection. That is always the optimal way to get back in with the memory. You can't take it for granted that you will remember anything while you're out of body. Usually you won't. Which is proven by, if you look at how long you've been alive and how many sleeps you've had compared to, which could be in the tens of thousands compared to how many astral projections you remember. Big difference here. And keeping it, taking it as read that you naturally astral project, I call it sleep projection, every time you sleep. So you can't really control it, only by working the re-entry and memory recovery process, re-entering with some emotion, strong emotion to make the memory stronger. That makes a lot of sense. And then verbalizing it and writing down a few keywords to, lock the memory in. And then you've got it permanently.
All right, let's move on to another question here. This one from AA Ron in our Spreaker chat. He is asking, if I were to do this, how would I know if it's just a dream or if it actually happened?
Well, the key is if this happens before you fall asleep, if you fall asleep and then you wake up and it starts happening, or you've been asleep and you wake up and you might start using the technique, say climbing a rope or whatever, and it happens really easily and you get out of body, there's a possibility there. It could be real, but it could also be a lucid dream. The only guaranteed way, if you want 100%, is if you do it before you physically fall asleep. With the exception here being, if you get up, physically get up and go to the washroom, say in the middle of the night, and you come back like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is about the best time to do it. Probably 95% of people have their first success around 3 or 4 in the morning. Because that way you've been in bed for several hours, your mind is refreshed, your body's deeply relaxed, and you're in a perfect state for having an astral projection. And then you go back and you do your technique and you find you get out of body. And that is like no break in consciousness there. But if you wake up and start doing it, then there's a possibility you're dreaming that. So, yeah, before you fall asleep is the only way. But keep in mind here, a lucid dream is also a valuable experience. It expands your belief systems and makes you much more open-minded through personal experience, because a lucid dream is a type of astral projection. It's related to an out-of-body experience of some kind. It gives you hard personal experience with existing separately from your body in another reality. So the experience is invaluable. And that lucid dreaming, for example, is a whole area on its own, which is fascinating.
All right, let's go over to a couple questions from Uncle Dale in the SOR Space Travelers. And he is asking, Robert, how do you know that you are actually astral traveling? Have you tested this yourself by asking a friend to put an object in a place that he could not normally see, that you could not normally see?
Yep, I have tested this to death hundreds of times over the years. Not just going out of body in real time, which is like a ghost in the real world, and exploring my local town and finding things which I haven't seen before, and then like roadworks I wasn't aware of, and then verifying the next day. But also things like putting, if you put some playing cards, particularly works better if you get, the larger variety of play cards. They're kind of a novelty. And you shuffle those at random, and then without looking at them, put them face up on top of your wardrobe or somewhere completely out of sight. And when you have an astral projection, if you're in real time, then you just move over there and read the cards. And then jump back into your body screaming let's say one of the cards is the Queen of Hearts. So your keyword for that would be, as you dive back in passionately, would be Queen of Hearts, Queen of Hearts. And boom, you're back in body, verbalize Queen of Hearts, write it down, and then go check on the card. That's what people do. And it's not perfect. You get reality fluctuations even in real time. I have a friend of mine that's very, very good at this, and he's an engineer, so he kind of quantifies everything. And he says he has like a 76.4% chance of accurately reading cards or verifying anything in the physical world.
Right. So, well, let's go back to Uncle Dale here for a second, because he is asking, what's the difference then between astral travel and remote viewing?
There are big crossovers and connections between remote viewing and astral projection. Now, keep in mind, remote viewing is the new scientific term for clairvoyance. They are practicing what used to be called clairvoyance, and still is in some factions today. Now, what they do is they apply a disciplined scientific protocol to clairvoyant visions to extract the most information about whatever the target is. And it's brilliant work. But you will find, if you talk to or read about remote viewers, they often, during a remote viewing session, they find themselves out of body or at the location, like an astral projection at the location. So there are big crossovers. I mean, you have a human body and a human mind with all of its ability. This is what we got to work with here. So everything is connected. Astral projection, remote viewing, lucid dreaming, all of these things have connections.
All right, let's get to a third question from Dale then, and his power stash is on a real roll here. He is asking, as we got about 3.5 minutes left before we go to break, would a voice recorder be better than writing things down, or is it personal preference?
It is a personal preference. Some people prefer a voice-activated recorder or one with a button on it, which they keep beside themselves. A lot of people find it's just laborious having to write it down, particularly when you're groggy. So instead of getting a garbled message, really bad writing, you end up with an almost indecipherable audio. It's like, it's kind of like that. if you're really kind of out of it, because if you're doing this when you first get back into your body, you know, your voice can be really, really groggy. It's a personal preference.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm very interested in learning about this. That is for sure. As we get ready to go to break here at the bottom of the hour, I do want to ask you, in regards to what you see, when you first leave your body, what are you looking at? Is it different every time, or do you set your projection on where you want to go?
Normally, when I come out of the body, I see the room that I exit in. So I'll see my bedroom, or if I'm in the living room in a chair, I see that room that I'm in. I will occasionally automatically project to another location if I have an intention there. So it depends a lot. And it also depends upon what my higher self is up to. Often my higher self will show me something or teach me as a way of teaching me a lesson or assisting me. And my higher self, I define that as being a much higher aspect of me, which is above me, as opposed to calling it anything else. It doesn't obviously care what you call it. It just is. And but this is intimately concerned with you, and everybody has one, as far as I can tell. And if you connect with this and you start doing astral projection, then keep in mind, I was guided into this from a very early age. Like when I was a baby, I started having these sorts of things. So it is obviously a part of my life path. So, and I'm still learning and still teaching, and I share and disseminate this information in the world. So it kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So if I wanted to come see you, as we got about 30 seconds left, what would I be looking for? Would I be looking for a signal from you, since I don't know where the hell I'm going in Australia?
Exactly. Now, if you're in the real time zone, as opposed to a real-time astral or astral planes astral, the astral planes astral has no resemblance, or very little resemblance, to the real physical world. You need to be in the real time zone, a real-time astral projection, and then it would be like, imagine if you were in an airplane or a helicopter with no instruments flying at night, and you've got to try and find not just Australia, big place, but you've got to find a tiny little town and one particular house in that.
Perfect.
You know, would be a nightmare trying to navigate like that. So you need something to key in. Another way of doing that is...
Robert, let's continue this. Let's continue this right after the break here. Robert Bruce, our guest tonight, Astral Dynamics, continues right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology: Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot THAL, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada's a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Dropping the gloves, battling a flu. But that's okay. We're still going to broadcast live. Remember, if you've missed parts of this show or others, you could go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. And, of course, our website, spacedoutradio.com. Our new look should be done by the end of the week. We're pressing the Gavinator to get it done, so please stay tuned. Tonight we are talking astral projection with Robert Bruce, one of the world's premier instructors on how to astral travel. He's been doing it for 60 years. Yeah, 60 years. Could you imagine? It's a long time to be learning how to astral project, becoming superior at it. Robert, welcome back.
Hello, good to be here.
I should mention your website. Oh, you okay there? You didn't drop the Snickers bar or anything like that, did you?
No.
Oh, okay. AstralDynamics.com is the website. Now, right before the break, Robert, I had asked you about different ways to project. How do I know what I'm going for if I'm coming to see you? And you were breaking that down for us.
Right. The one way, of course, if you're flying blind, it's like flying a helicopter at night with no navigation. It's like mad. You can do it, but you literally have to look up road maps and things and do your research, because and the easiest way is to go into orbit and then re-enter. It's one way. It's very difficult and time-consuming. The other way is to just speak a command, and by speaking commands, it helps you to get in touch with your higher self. Now, your higher self, as I said, is a much higher part of you, can also be interpreted, could also be called your spirit guide. You could call it God. You could call it anything you like. But it's very clear to me, it doesn't care what you call it. It just is. It exists. But it's there, and it's very much a part of you. So another way to move around is to make commands, just simple requests. So what I would do there is, once you get out of body, you just state a command and say, take me to Robert Bruce. Now, literally, if you do that, you will be brought to me. One of me, anyway. There's actually two of me. One of me exists in the astral, one of me permanently, and one is the one you're talking to as well. And the one in the astral I affectionately call Astral Bob. That's a long story. Came about when I raised Kundalini about 30 years ago. And the first couple of times I did that, it was a major experience, and my astral body peeled off and stayed permanently out of body, and has since evolved and grown up, you could say, out of body. And yeah, and of course I still have my astral body. So everything keeps going normally, which tells you something about the nature of the physical body. A lot of people ask me what would happen if your astral body was damaged or destroyed when you're out of body. Well, I have pushed it to the max. I have really pushed the envelope, flying into the sun and things like that. And I've had a really wild time out of body over many, many years. And I haven't succeeded yet. And I've tried just to see what would happen. And but I think what would happen is, given my understanding of the astral projection, that if an astral body was destroyed, that you would wake up none the worse for wear the next day. You might have a mild headache or something, or feel a bit tired because you've lost a little bit of energy. Because the real you, the master copy of you, never leaves your physical body. You are projecting an energy copy out of body. So if that is destroyed, you lose a little bit of energy, which you may not even notice. The real you is still there in the physical body, unharmed.
How does it stay that way, though? How do you stay unharmed?
In what sense?
Well, isn't there some sort of trauma that could possibly happen to the body while you're doing this?
Well, I suppose so. I mean, you could have a heart attack or something and die, or you could have a seizure or something, and it could happen. But as far as my experience goes, whatever happens in the astral stays in the astral. It doesn't directly impact the physical body. That is, unless if you're in the same room as your physical body. If you have an astral projection, you come out, you're in the same room. There is a strong reactionary field between your astral body and your physical body. And it's difficult to stay out, and that can cause a lot of problems. So the first thing you do when you get out of body, of course, it's in my basic instructions, you need to move at least 20 feet away from your physical body, because that magnetism, which is like trying to suck you back into the physical body, is one of the things you can experience, eases off at 20 feet, and it progressively eases the further away you get from your body. So it's difficult to astral project if you've got that hanging over your head. Like the slightest thought of your physical body will, catapult you back into it in a millisecond. So, and that's also how you return. Another question people are probably thinking of, how do you find your way back to your physical body? All you have to do while you're out of body, you could be at the other end of the universe, literally. And you just got to think of your body and you'll be back there in a heartbeat. It's an instant reflex. You think of your body and the room you're in when you left it, and you'll be back there instantly.
All right, let's get to another couple questions in our SOR Space Travelers. And this is Human Carl. Has a guest, which is you, Robert, ever physically affected something while you were astral projecting? For instance, move something or touch someone. Robert Monroe wrote that he once pinched a friend and she asked him the next day if that was him.
Yes, I have done experiments like that where I have made an impression on people many, many, many times. You can do it because when you are an astral projector, now keep in mind this is real-time astral projection. A real-time astral projector is exactly the same as a spirit, any spirit. Now, a spirit can mess with your electricals, it can mess with your electronics, it can move things around, it can knock things over, poltergeist activity and things like that. The astral body can do all of the above. So if you are out of body, if you go and touch somebody, now if a person is physically awake, let's say you're astral projecting in the daytime, if you go up to an awake human being, you can literally slip inside them, like overshadow them. And while you are doing that, you can leaf through their memories in that state, because you are just like a spirit. Even though you may only have an operating life of 5 to 10 minutes in the astral, you can do a lot of things. You can, if you're inside of somebody, you can even influence that person to a point. But I mean, you could, for example, if you enter somebody, overshadow somebody that is on a diet. You could make them buy a candy bar, not difficult. But if you're inside of a non-smoker, you could not make them buy cigarettes, or you couldn't make a non-drinker buy alcohol. But you could make a drinker buy alcohol if it's in their nature already. It's kind of like the rules of hypnotism in the way it works. And I think I went off track a bit there.
So you can invade someone's body while astral traveling?
Yeah, definitely. You are like a spirit. Now, spirits are known to do this. Spirits are known to overshadow people, talk to them, even possess them, demonic possession sort of thing, which I've experienced myself. Shudder. Is a very, very real thing. Channeling is a very real thing, where a spirit enters your body and speaks through you. And
yes, I've done that.
There are crossovers between all of these things. If you've done channeling, you have somehow invited a spirit to overshadow you, or even to enter you, to control you in some way, to talk through you, to do something, either talk through you or write through you, like automatic writing. This is the same thing. As we say in Australia, it's the same dog, it's different leg action.
Right.
So anything a spirit can do, an astral projector can do.
All right. PBR is asking, what happens if you're astral projecting and your body dies?
Well, you're out of luck there, pal. You're dead. What happens there, actually, it probably happens to a lot of people. When you physically die, your astral body is your spirit. It is, even though it's a copy of it, an energy copy of the real you inside of you. They are energetically connected. So when your physical body dies, all of the residual energy inside of your physical body is released, and it starts transferring into your astral body, which makes it a lot stronger and a lot more stable. So that process continues for X amount of time. I know it's not instant. It can take maybe a couple of days, but all of that extra, you could say, vitality from the physical body transfers into the astral body, and that then becomes your master copy. But it's, for all intents and purposes, is your astral body. That is your spirit, or what will become your spirit. And this is only energy. With that extra energy, all of your memories become stronger, because often when you're astral projecting, you feel like you've left half your mind behind, because it's difficult to remember some things, and your memory's not that good. And that depends on how much energy you have in the astral projection, on how good your recall is. So you transfer into the astral body and continue the afterlife experience from there. And I have studied the afterlife experience for decades, and it is not what people think it is. It's like every living thing, cats and dogs and horses, every living animal astral projects whenever they sleep. It's a part of being alive. Now, when you die, or when an animal dies, we all go to the same place, which isn't a place really, but we all have the same experience. This is ubiquitous to being a living being. Now, the afterlife of a human, because we're the most evolved being on the planet, is lengthy and complex, because we're complex beings, long-lived complex beings. Now, an animal like a dog or a cat may have an afterlife that lasts for a year. A hamster or a mouse may have an afterlife that lasts an hour. It kind of depends upon the complexity of the being and how long the afterlife process is and how complex and deep it is.
Right. This leads to a very interesting question that I think is great from Gutter in the chat room. What if you accidentally go to the light while astral projecting, then get stuck in heaven and your life is like gone? Is there an elevator that you can get back down?
We have to keep in mind, even though you could say technically heavens do exist, it is not a particular place. It is not a particular location. You could say it is more of a state of mind. And if you are in a state of mind, then, it's really you have complete control. You can't get locked in anywhere in the sense that you're talking about there. So you can, and if your physical body is alive, then you could always get back to your physical body. Either by, think about your physical body that will normally transfer you back there, or make a command. Take me back to my body. And boom, you're back there instantly. I've exhaustively explored this area, and also working with thousands of people as well. I've come across just about everything, and that it's never been a factor.
All right. Moving on here, we've got a lot of audience questions coming through, so we're going to punch them on through here. We got about 5 minutes to go before our break at the top of the hour. Robert Bruce, master of astral projection, is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Let's get to Steve's question. He is asking, can a spirit be aware of an astral body and vice versa if they are occupying the same space and time?
In the same space and time? Yes, definitely. If you are out of body, you can definitely see a spirit. Any spiritual entity or spirit entity, good or bad, you will perceive, because as a real-time astral projector or otherwise, you are, for all intents and purposes, a spirit. This is a remotely projected part of you, which is a spirit. You're projecting as the spirit you. You could call it spirit projecting because you become a spirit. So you can see and interact with spirits. But strangely enough, spirits tend to keep their distance. It's rare to come across spirits, good or bad, when you're out of body. It's almost like they have a non-interference policy or something. But you will occasionally see them. If you frequently astral project, you will occasionally come across a spirit. But again, a lot of people, when they first start astral projecting, and let's say they've done several astral projection exits, it's common to get out of body and you find all these little critters around you, like little ugly monkeys pouring at you. There's varieties of this scenario. They can be ugly, and they're all threatening and going, we're going to get you type of thing. Or you might come across what they call the dweller on the threshold, which is a male figure which is all in black with burning red eyes and heavy breathing. And it will be across the room from you. It'll take a step towards you and making threatening gestures and growling at you like it's just about to pounce on you. And if you don't know what it is, it's terrifying, and you've got to run for it. It'll chase you, and it'll keep on chasing you. Projection after projection, it'll be there and continue the chase. But it will never actually catch you. But these things I've described here now are initiation tests created by your higher self. In a way, you could aptly say that these are like little computer programs. These are programs built into the fabric of reality that you have triggered by the act of consciously astral projecting. And these are initiation programs. Now, the correct way, and you don't have a rule book for this, you're supposed to work it out for yourself. That's just how it is in all areas. And the correct way to approach these things is you stop and you turn towards the little monkeys or the dweller on the threshold, and you walk up to it and you say, go away, any way that you want to say it. And you give them their marching orders, and then you turn your back and walk away, and you'll never see it again. It won't pursue you. Nothing will happen. Because all it's doing, it's threatening you, and it's going boo, and it's saying you better run, or it'll say boo again. That's all it does. It never actually attacks you. I've been attacked by demons and things like that. That's another story, but that's rare. And I was, I work in the area as well, demonology and psychic self-defense and things like that. So that's a different kettle of fish. The average projector would never come across anything like that.
Well, I can honestly say we got about a minute here before we got to go to break, and I guess there is that other side that we got to work at. It's not all peace, love, and light over there. There is some seriousness to it.
There is. It's generally extremely peaceful. I mean, you can think what you like of the astral, but when you get out, you can hear a pin drop. There's nothing going on, particularly if you're in the real time zone, in like a ghost in the real world. It's dead quiet, and it's usually nighttime, so it's dark, and you can fly around your town and that. You might see a few other active astral projectors around, but usually not many, and it's very, very quiet and peaceful.
Wonderful. Wonderful. On that note, Robert Bruce, we got you for another 30 minutes here on Spaced Out Radio. And I think, what's that about? 7 o'clock your time? Is that where we are? 6 o'clock your time?
No, it's 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Oh, it's nice and early. Nice and early. Perfect. You're down in Perth, Australia. I'm up here in the British Columbia Mountains of Canada. Hey, Zoe, I know you're listening in for the first time. Thank you so much for tuning in, Spaced Out Radio. Yes, you, Zoe. I'm talking to you. More astral travel with Robert Bruce coming up right after this on Spaced Out Radio. At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR, where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com, where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com, and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacy, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
From the mile-high mountains of Colorado to all of you around the world, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I invite you to stick around spacedoutradio.com for Saturday and Sunday nights where I host Spaced Out Weekend. Let me take you on a wild ride of weird and strange topics, from ghosts and ETs to remote viewing, psychic phenomena, and so much more. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time on Spaced Out Weekend, where we own the night.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow night on the show, we talk UFO movies. How is Hollywood affected by UFOs? Bryce Zabel will join us, 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in on our affiliates in KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF AM 1560 and KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio and Deep Talk Radio. Great to have you with us. Remember, if you've missed part of this show or any of our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Kamisado. Kamisado is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website, currently under construction, is spacedoutradio.com. The Gavinator is hoping to have it back up and running by later this week. astraldynamics.com is the website for our guest tonight, Mr. Robert Bruce. And we've been talking about it all night long. We're taking your questions as well, as we got them for another 30 minutes. Robert, welcome back to the show.
Good to be here.
We're going to continue on with the audience questions here.
Okay.
Trip is asking, before the commercial break, you'd mentioned picking cards. Can you grab a deck of cards or move one of your guitars to see if you can pick a card or a guitar?
You could. You'd have to learn how to do it. You'd have to work out how to move things in the physical world. So that is something you can do, but you need to get the basics down. You need to be comfortable with astral projecting and getting around the astral. And then you could definitely work on using your astral body to physically affect things like a poltergeist would. You can move things around, knock things around. It's definitely doable.
That just seems a little intense to me. Excuse me. As you try and touch things from that astral level.
Yeah, you can do it. Let's say you have to learn how to do that. You have to develop it, and you have to develop it while you're out of body. So you need to be comfortable with the astral environment. You've got to get on the basics before you would start doing that. And you would, learn, practice with different ways of focusing your mind. Keep in mind, when you're out of body, you don't really have a body. You are a point of consciousness, like a little cell. And perceive yourself as having a body which is much like your physical body. This is a habit, and there's a lot of habits which carry over into the astral, including gravity, because you'd think to yourself, being a spirit being, that gravity wouldn't affect you, but it does. Anybody that astral projects in real time will tell you, learning to fly, I first taught myself to fly as a little boy. It was a series of giant leaps. And have you seen that? Have you seen the movie The Matrix? I'm sure everybody's seen that.
Yes, I have.
Movie. You know the one where Keanu Reeves first runs to jump from one building to the next? And he's trying to hold it, and about halfway through he loses concentration and starts falling down and leaves a big dent in the road. Now, it is just like that. You need to learn how to keep your mind off gravity and off of falling. Otherwise, every time you become aware of gravity that you're really high up, what I call the gravity habit kicks in and starts pulling you down. So if you keep your mind off of that and use flying actions like, flapping your arms, making commands, swimming, all of those things work. They involve movement forwards and upwards. So all of those things will work. You think that getting out of the body, flying would be automatic and easy to do. A few people find that, but very few. Most people have to work it out and really focus on not focusing on the ground, and gravity. Right. They might fall before they can fly. It takes practice. And that is just like anything else. Like if you want to affect things, move things around and that, you have to practice at it and work.
Getting back when you were talking about invading someone's body.
Yeah.
This goes to Sharon's question. Isn't that a breach of privacy or free will?
Absolutely. You're overshadowing somebody. Spirits do it, more often than we probably know. But it is. I explored this. I came across that many, many years ago when I first started studying astral projection, and I was literally pushing the envelope in all directions and trying this and trying that. It's like the astral missions. Could I do this? Could I do that? Could I do this? And I'd try it to see if I could. So, and the times I did that were initially with complete strangers and, just for a minute, never did harm. Later, I tried it again with some advanced magicians that I came to know over the years who also had astral projection abilities. And we took turns, literally invading each other's bodies. Like I would do it to them and then they come and do it to me. And we practice different ways of defending against that invasion. So it was, but there's very few people. You need to be really accomplished at least astral projection in order to do that.
Have you ever worked with government officials in training them how to astral project?
No, generally government type people anywhere in the world don't believe in this sort of thing. It's literally don't believe in it. It's like rubbish to them. It's really risque for them. Even getting involved with remote viewing is like something that they hide from sight because it's like classed as being so unscientific because it's obviously not real, yada, yada, yada. There's little risk of that.
All right, let's move on here. Catherine is asking, Robert, have you ever investigated your own timeline while astral traveling?
I beg your pardon?
Have you ever investigated your own timeline while astral traveling?
No. That is something I fairly recently, over the last couple of years, that have begun forming the intention to do that. It's just something that's never come up on my list. I have a past life memory. I won, and but I have like this post-traumatic response where, for many, many years now, decades, I will sometimes find myself waking up in the middle of the night, obsessing about how to hold on to this rope. And I'm hanging from a rope. And I'll spend like hours and I'm sweating. My heart's racing. And I'm exploring that. And put it this way, you would never in a million years get me into a hot air balloon of any form or a lighter than aircraft. It's like I would collapse before I got to it. It's because what happened there is I was one of the men, I don't know when this was, that was on the ground holding a balloon or a dirigible of some kind that was pulled up into the air. That used to sometimes happen. And, of course, eventually you fall off. And that is a powerful memory within me, which has given me a starting point. And I plan to use that to explore some of my past. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my main topics. I wrote a book on this called The Practical Psychic Self-Defense Handbook, which you can buy. I also have a video program on that on my website, astraldynamics.com, called Defense Against Dark Arts. It's basically the book in video form with a little bit more information in it, of course. But, so there are ways to deal with these things. And I call it the Practical Psychic Self-Defense Handbook for a reason, because most of the methods in there are extremely effective. I could teach to a child. It's like very, very simple. Did you know, for example, how practical this is? If you came under the strongest demonic attack you can imagine right now, if you go and jump in the shower, it stops instantly. Now, this thing, if it's attacking you, might wait outside the bathroom for you to come out. But while you are under the running water, you are completely free and safe. You'll feel fine. In fact, it's quite common if you get people that have a psychotic break and they have a total meltdown. And when they call the ambulance to take them away to the hospital, they often find them under the shower. And some of these people are under the shower for days because if it's an entity attack, they very quickly work out that while they are under the shower, they're fine. Their mind is fine. And some of these people are psychotics, you name it. But while they're under the shower, I'm normal again. Come out of it and all the bad things start up again. So you put two and two together pretty quickly in a situation like that. Now, the reason why running water blocks these things is because of the nature of negative entities. All of the negative entities that trouble humankind are earth element beings. And let's say 99.9% of them are. There is a very small percentage where you have like air spirits, water spirits, fire spirits that can cause problems. But the big problem is earth element beings, because we are earth element beings. We walk upon the earth. Now, earth element beings exist in a field of energy that covers the surface of the earth. I mean, it covers the surface of the earth, the oceans. It goes up every tree, up every wall in your house. It even covers us because we walk on the earth. And this field of energy is created by lightning strikes. There are several thousand lightning strikes per minute hit a planet. And when a lightning bolt hits the planet, apart from a bit of localized damage, the energy in that lightning bolt spreads out over the entire surface of the planet instantaneously. Now, this is a perpetually created field that has been around for billions of years. And negative entities live in that field. It's like a two-dimensional flatland, you would think, but it is another dimension. Now, entities are capable of projecting a three-dimensional image of themselves if they want to, so that we see them like a normal being, but they are actually two-dimensional beings, like a little shadow on the ground that we can't see. And they have weaknesses, which I've spent many decades exploring their weaknesses. Now, the reason why getting under the shower works to defend you is because it's covering you in a very strong electrical earth. You are earthed through the water pipes to the dam or wherever the water comes from, very strong electrical grounding. Now, you can accomplish the same thing by buying electrically earthed bed sheets and pillowcases, and which you can buy on the internet. Every country has them. And these are a very effective deterrent in situations like that. And there are 101 different ways that you can use as countermeasures against negative entities, up to and including a pentagram banishment, which is a very powerful thing. You simply, with your hand, you sign the pentagram, starting from the bottom left corner, clockwise, and while you are doing that, you are imagining, visualizing it, that you are drawing the pentagram in like blue fire in front of you. And as you do that, you say, I banish you in the name of Tetragrammaton. Tetragrammaton, one word, 3 syllables. I have literally taught this to a number of 5-year-olds, how to do a banishment. And they are over the moon because a lot of children have scary problems, which parents tend to mostly ignore or can't do anything about because we don't understand them. So using my countermeasures, for example, if you turn on the overhead lights that children want on if they're having spooky problems, you reduce the atmosphere in the room, the scary atmosphere, by 75%. It makes it more difficult for operate with light. And doing a banishment is very, very powerful. What you are doing with the pentagram, you're banishing the earth element specifically. If you reversed it and went anti-clockwise, you'd be evoking it. So we're banishing the earth element. Now, I can't tell you exactly how it works, but I discovered this 20 years ago, and it works wonderfully. So I teach it because it works. Big topic.
We only have about 4.5 minutes left with you tonight, Robert, and I want to say thanks for coming on and being a trooper, considering I'm coughing in your ear all night, and I do apologize for that. I really do. But next time we have you on, how hard is it to astral project? Like, could you do it right now? Or is this something that you would have to build up to?
No, I wouldn't do it right now because I'm wide awake and talking. And when I'm on the radio, I get a little bit of adrenaline going through me. I'd have to relax first.
Right.
Deep physical mental relaxation is the key to astral projection. Now, I could imagine myself astral projecting really easily, but actually doing it, no. You need to be in a relaxed state.
Gotcha. So do you prefer to do it while you're sleeping, or do you do it while you're awake as well?
If I'm going to do it, I do it when I'm awake. Yeah, definitely. And I have a lot of spontaneous astral projections as well. And most of my astral projections are as part of my own tutorial my higher self. For example, I've had hundreds of astral projections where I've been pulled out of my body and I've been taken to an animal in the afterlife that I've known in real life, or a person, and I've been shown it's just this constant tutorial about what I call the greater reality, the reality that is superimposed over the very limited physical reality.
With about 3 minutes left, tell us about your courses that you offer on your website, astraldynamics.com.
Well, my favorite one there is called Manifestation and Self-Healing. That is about the higher self connection. You could also call higher self God, your spirit guide. It doesn't matter. It's how to connect with it and how that works with manifestation. I have another one called and Mastering Astral Projection. That has about 30 hours of video in it with me talking. And that, of course, teaches you everything about astral projection, how to do it, just like in my book called Astral Dynamics. I have another one there called Raising Kundalini, which is another lengthy program, about 30 hours, which is all about how to raise your Kundalini, and which I first did myself when I was about 33. And I've done it hundreds of times since. Raising Kundalini is not a do it once and you're done kind of thing. It's a whole new level of energy work and consciousness. It's badly misunderstood today. And my last program is called the Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is based on my book, The Practical Psychic Self-Defense Handbook. And again, in the video, I teach you everything I know about how these things work and how to counter them. And I also have a free energy work program that all the other ones I commit charge for. But I have a free energy work program. It's like an hour video program. But you have to register on my site, which is easy to do. Everything's done through the site, accessing the programs and that. So register on the site, just username and a password, and then you can add the free energy work program very simply and watch it on the site itself, the video. So that's what we do.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time to come on out and teach us with it. I would love for you one time if we could bring you on again in the future.
I'd love to
actually. I would love to try and astral project while you're on the air. I would.
While I'm on the air, okay, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
Do that experiment.
Astral projection wouldn't work while we're on the air. It's just not going to happen, Dave. It won't work. No, it's too distracting. You got too much going on in your mind racing. You need to be relaxed. Yeah, you can do some clairvoyance and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, that could work.
All right. Well, we'll do it again. We'll do it again, Robert Bruce. Thank you for coming on Spaced Out Radio. astraldynamics.com is Robert's website. Coming through the break here, we're going to get to the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Good to have you with us. As I want to remind all of you, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always go to our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And our website, currently under construction, but soon will be up and running. The spacedoutradio.com, the Gavinator. He's working pretty hard on it. Let's get to the weird, the wacky, the WTF, the news of the day. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show over here with the weird, the strange, and those stories that are just making you scratch your head. We're going to start off in Mother Russia. How about in Moscow, where there's a claim that the glamorous ex-gymnast Alina Kabayeva, rumored to be Vladimir Putin's longtime lover, has recently given birth to twins. Now, there's no confirmation from the Olympic gold medal winner and the Kremlin. According to a source close to the 36-year-old Kabayeva, we do not comment on rumors. The entire VIP fourth floor of the Kulikov Research Center for Obstetrics, Gynecology, and Perinatology was cleared earlier this month to accommodate the former gymnast, according to reports. One report says it had to delete and wipe all mentions of the claim, including from its internet cache. Well, Vladdy there apparently doesn't like his private life going out into the press. But apparently, twins have appeared. Who knows? At his age, well, Vladdy, not shooting blanks, that's for sure. All right. So we hear a lot these days about marijuana. What it works with, what it helps. We've seen it with Parkinson's. Well, according to another research, cannabidiol reduces the level of stress hormones and blunt urges to use opioids. So now they're saying cannabis could be the gateway drug to getting clean. Remember back in the 80s, old Nancy Reagan saying marijuana was a gateway drug to things like cocaine, heroin, hash. Well, apparently that could be reversing that gateway. There's now doing tests because of the opioid epidemic in the United States It's taken more than 300,000 lives over the last couple of years. And so they're trying to figure it out because drugs like methadone, the current medical treatment options, well, they're having difficulties physically breaking the cravings for opioids in addicts. Although these drugs can ease the physical need, they don't quite quit the anxiety that goes along with it. That could, you go through these triggers that people have. Well, this is where I use it, or that's when I do it. We see it a lot with smokers and alcoholics as well. But it's kind of interesting that we're now going back to CBD in order to try and treat heroin addiction and the anxiety that comes along with that. The latest study came out just a couple days ago in the American Journal of Psychiatry. If you want to check it out, Catherine McHugh says these findings provide support for an effective CBD on this process. Now, she is with Harvard Medical School's Division of Alcohol and Drug Abuse. I think she would know. Who knows? Who knows where that's going to go? I don't. But it's amazing how all of a sudden we're finding all these amazing cures or helpful aids that marijuana can perform. Moving on, let's go play with some toys, shall we? Military technology company Raytheon is teasing plans to build a powerful laser weapon capable of shooting down hypersonic nuclear missiles. Like we need that. A hypersonic missile is able to strike at several times the speed of sound. That's too fast for conventional anti-missile technology. But Raytheon has tweeted out an animated video showing futuristic laser zapping of hypersonic missiles out of the sky. Neither hypersonic missiles nor these advanced lasers exist today, but several countries, including the United States, are working to build hypersonic weaponry, putting defense measures in place before the threats could prevent devastating missile launches. There are also still a lot of technological hurdles for Raytheon to clear. Today's laser weapons may not be strong enough to stop hypersonic missiles, meaning anti-hypersonic missile lasers would need drastically more power. It's always about more power, isn't it? We need more power. Just turn that volume up to 10 on the lasers. Well, meanwhile, it would also need to precisely bullseye a projectile moving several times faster than anything a laser has needed to hit. So, I think that's a good idea. Couldn't we use that technology for, like, saving people? I guess, in a way, they would be. I don't know. Apparently, they're looking at it. Here's the quote. It's going to be a deterrent to countries developing nuclear weapons. Really? Isn't that why we keep spending billions and trillions into the defense budget? Just in case? All right. Let's head up to Pluto. Shall we? Bring your snorkel and your swimming trunks. Because apparently these oceans are alive on Pluto. It might be a little cold. Before we even get to this, have we figured out if Pluto is a planet or not? Should be in my books. It was a planet my entire educational life, growing up, till they raped it of its title. Well, Japanese scientists say that liquid water surface oceans on Pluto are kept from freezing over thanks to an insulating layer of gas hydrates, a discovery that could mean the distant dwarf planet and other inhospitable habitats could potentially harbor life. This could mean that there are more oceans in the universe than previously thought, making the existence of extraterrestrial life more plausible, said scientist Shunichi Kamada from Hokkaido University. Conventional wisdom dictates the oceans found on dwarf planets like Pluto should technically be frozen, but according to the team's computer simulations, which go back about 4.6 billion years, see, Japan's had the technology that long. Around this time of the formation of the solar system, these oceans would have no chance to ever freeze over. This new study found that it would take only 1 million years to freeze over without an insulating gas layer, but more than 1 billion years with one. On Pluto, such a subsurface ocean could still exist to this day, thanks to methane and nitrogen gas found in its atmosphere. Other icy moons could also host such subsurface oceans as well. Here's a cute story. Down in Orlando, Florida, a Nissan car dealership has a new family living in its showroom. 16 ducks have been invited in to walk freely to receive their food. The mother duck made a nest located outside the dealership and gave birth to 15 ducklings. The team at Sutherland Nissan has built a pond next to the showroom to feed and take care of the ducks, who have become part of their mascots now. We knew we had to welcome them into the Sutherland family, says the managing partner of the dealership. The dealership says that the ducks are a staple at their location, with customers often able to spot them while shopping for automobiles. There's a video of the ducks crowding a salesman for food before being led back outside for more. Good for them. Good press. Nissan's a good vehicle, too. Florida man has a conversation with an ATM before charging a deputy. You figure, what? What was that? Well, 35-year-old Philip Hardrick is now in jail after stealing some snacks from a convenience store, chatting up an ATM machine, and then charging a deputy. He went to a Tom Thumb where he reportedly swiped a Snickers bar and a drink. After stealing his snacks, apparently he was quite hangry. That's why he grabbed the Snickers. The man began to have some sort of conversation inside the store with the automatic teller machine. When deputies arrived, Hardrick turned and charged at one of the deputies, but was quickly detained. Inside his wallet was a rolled dollar bill, which contained methamphetamine. No kidding. In addition to the drug charge now, Hardrick also had an active warrant for a parole violation. Some people just don't learn. No exact words, though, have been figured out as to what he and the ATM were truly talking about. And finally, tonight, in the news, here's an interesting story coming out of ancient Laos. More than 100 giant stone jars, thought to have been used in burial rituals thousands of years ago, have been rediscovered at ancient sites in forests, on the hillsides, and along mountain ridges in remote central Laos. The carved stone jars are scattered across miles of the rugged, tiger-haunted Zhangjiang province, about 200 miles north of Laos's capital, Vientiane, in Southeast Asia. They have been dubbed jars of the dead by researchers. Several human burials, thought to be around 2,500 years old, have been found at some of these sites, but nothing is known about the people who originally made the jars. An expedition of archaeologists from Laos and Australia visited the region earlier this year in February and March to document known jar sites, to search for jars of the dead sites and stone quarries. The new find shows that the mysterious culture that made the stone jars was geographically more widespread than previously thought. The largest and best-known jar site, located in relatively an open country, the site contains around 400 carved stone jars, some as tall as 10 feet. It's 3 meters for us in the metric way, and weighing more than 10 tons. And the first archaeological investigation of it was made in the 1930s, but The majority of the jar sites usually contain fewer than 60 carved stone jars and were found in forested and mountainous terrain surrounding the plains of jars, spreading over thousands of square miles. Gotta wonder, if those jars are that big, granted, they'd be extremely difficult to move, or even to tip over. Who made them? Were they made by some sort of giant? I don't know. Be one big person to do that. Don't you think? That is the news of the day. So what do you say we get to the thought of the day? Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air tonight, as we do it every night at this time, because we love the audience participation around here. So, we're going to start off with Bobby. Today's thought of the day, by the way, have you ever astral traveled? If so, what's it like? Bobby says, I had 4 very short ones that I can't dismiss as dreams. First, when I saw the cat looking at me exit the house. Second, I was strolling in pastel-colored version of the land around the house. Third, I became aware outside my room, and I looked back in and saw myself. The last one, I became aware in my childhood home. It looked different. I went back and felt the pullback. The reason I can't dismiss them as lucid dreams is that the level of self-awareness was exactly like being awake. I've had others where I was partially out of body. I use Robert Bruce and Robert Monroe techniques. I keep trying to pop out consciously. Some progress, but not there yet. I also suspect that some recurrent dream may also be out-of-body experiences, but they might be only lucid dreams. Gail. Only once, when I was 20, had read about it and had no idea what it really entailed. One night, thought it would be cool to try, so before I went to sleep, I told myself I'd like to go to Rome. I did exactly that. The best part is I flew all over the city, was circling the dome of St. Peter's Basilica. It was phenomenal. Francesca. She goes in full detail. All the time. That's all she put. All the time. Heather. Yes, once. It was my first time. I find the concentration hard sometimes, but I could actually visualize and smell things. I took a course that they had us go to Alcatraz, of all places. I smelled the sea, fish, saw quite a bit of stuff there, felt a lot of cold and draft. I didn't see anything horrific, just brick and cells and a lot of rough water outside the prison. I bought a book on it so I could study and practice. Meditation and concentration seem to be the key. It's quite phenomenal when it happens. Edie. I do it all the time. It's like dreaming, only everything looks and feels real. I often meet with people that I know, but I can never recall their faces. Vivster. Having tried many times, but haven't been able to quite get there. Once that sound of that freight train rears its ugly head, it jolts me out fast. It's just way too loud. Teresa. When I was a young girl, it happened a lot. Pretty wild. No details, though. Carrie says, nope, never have. Catherine, quite a few times, but the most impactful one was exploring alternative timelines. Olaf Phillips, good friend of this show, he says he's done it twice. Says one of the strangest things that he's ever done. Penman, I did go out of my body a few times when I was about 6 years old. I remember seeing my body asleep on the bed, and I was up by the ceiling. I could see the silver cord attached to my body. When I looked down at myself, it looked like my body was 30 feet below me. I would go out the north dormer window. I could see other people and communicated with them. I don't know if they were having OBEs, ghosts, or what they were. We'd travel around town. One night I encountered some kind of entity that scared me. I snapped back into my body and Never had an OBE after that. Tara, I wasn't even trying. Anyone ever see static like on a old television set? The whole room became static. I tried to pick up my phone. It wasn't a solid object anymore. That's when I knew I was not on the earthly plane. Had a visitation from my mom during that out of body too. Wildest thing ever. Nikki, yes, I used to do it regularly and often. I would travel astrally, globally, or out into the solar system. It was absolutely, truly incredible. It was totally silent and peaceful. It was a form of long-distance traveling without ever having to physically leave your home, much like Al Bundy. Then, there are different levels to travel in the astral world of travel, but to achieve the next level up, you basically have to learn how to further expand your mind and your energy field. Then work on that and have the expansion, aka growth of your spiritual self in use for some time before being allowed to next level up in the astral. Is that like Mario Brothers? You got to level up? Jump over the flag? I don't know. Very intriguing, though. Brian, yes, I have. Very interesting and exciting. Barry, yes, it occurred somewhat frequently when I was a lot younger. Some of these stories will be in my new book. Others are hinted at in my first book. It almost always involved good friends or girlfriends, and on one occasion there was a strong indication of biolocation. We want to say a big thank you to Captain Shirk for putting our news together at the SOR Newswire. You can find it on Facebook, the SOR Newswire, until we get our brand new website up and running. Thank you to all of you participating in today's Thought of the Day, and to Robert Bruce for coming on in, teaching us about Astral Dynamics, his website, astraldynamics.com. Tomorrow night on the show, Bryce Zabel joins us. We're getting into UFO movies. What's the impact UFOs have on Hollywood? 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, in our chat rooms on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Wherever you may be. Remember, Space Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures have this show copyrighted, so please don't go and copy it. That would suck. And thank you so much for hanging out, being with us each and every night, because together, my friends, say it with me, because I need some help tonight. Here we go. Right after this. We own the night. I will talk to you in 21 hours from now. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Good night.